Hi stamping friends, Melissa Kerman here with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. Thanks for joining me today. In this video I'll be introducing one of the 3 July-August free card kits for my free card kits program. I'll be posting 3 shorter videos instead of one long one. And at the end of this video I'll show all 3 projects, so make sure to watch to the end. So by the way, this small video segment will be the same for all 3 videos, so if you've already seen it, definitely skip ahead. So you may be asking, what is this free card kit program? Well, the intention of the free card kit program is to offer a way for people who don't live locally and can't attend my events, a way to make some of the fun projects I offer to my local customers and learn new paper crafting techniques with us. These are in fact the projects that we made for my club events in July. I have 3 clubs and they really enjoyed them, so I hope you do too. So there are program details for the card kit program on my events page. I hope you'll jump on over there and check it all out and let me know if you have questions. There is a link in the video description below. So this is the project we're working on next, and for this project we'll be using the High Tide stamp set and the Colorful Seasons stamp set. Love this one. Multi-seasonal, obviously, and then this set of seasonal layers thinlits. We're using the Adirondack chair for it. Great little die. And this is actually a pretty simple card. It's not an original design. I've seen lots of designs similar to this on Pinterest. Just loved it, so just wanted to share it for the most part as is. So today, this is the materials that people who receive the card kit will get. And there's a white piece for the inside. And for the purposes of today's demonstration, I'm actually going to be using a piece of shimmery white cardstock. When I did this with my groups, I actually used plain white, and I've also experimented with watercolor paper, but I'll show you the different effect for each of them. This is the first time I'll be doing it on the shimmer paper. I'll be doing it live. Basically, should be about the same effect, so we can compare that at the end. So I have gotten us started a little bit by stamping the Just Breathe on the bottom. I did use the Memento black ink, and that is because this is a photopolymer stamp set. So if you use the Memento black with the photopolymer, it won't stain them, which is really awesome. And then I've stamped repeatedly the little grass. And on this one, I've used crumb cake. On the finished card, you can see it's a little bit darker. I did use soft suede. I kind of liked the lighter grass. So you can choose what you want to do if you decide to do this. So let's go ahead and get started with a little bit more of the next step, which is really to do the watercolor wash in the background. I feel like I'm kind of doing watercolor washes all the time. I just really love it. So I'm going to bring in my little accessory lid with a bit of Pool Party ink in there and my aqua painter. For this, I kind of like to use the fat tipped aqua painter. There's a thin tipped aqua painter that comes in the set as well. But I can get sort of a big, nice broad brush with this if I do it this way. So I'm going to first wet my surface. So I've squeezed a little bit. See the water in there just to get it wet a little bit, and I can kind of see. And when you do that on a paper like this, watercolor paper especially, the ink tends to just stay where the water is. And I'm just going to do a quick little wash. I'm going to stop right there. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Now you will probably want to let this dry or use a heat tool before you do the next step. So I have an example that I have started. Now this is actually watercolor paper. So not a huge difference. The shimmer paper is sort of kind of in between the Whisper White and the watercolor paper, but these two actually really take the water better than regular white paper. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one, do the stamping for the next step. Maybe wait till that other one dries. I'm using my Bermuda Bay ink, and I'm just going to come in. It's just a little bit darker, but it's got sort of that greenish blue color in here. Now, the reason why I stamped the words and the grass on this one first was so that I would make sure that I left enough room, well, so that I didn't do too much sky. I guess that's really what I'm trying to say. So now I have to make sure I don't go down too far with my water. So let's start this way. And you can do first and second inking. Gives you this really nice watercolor wavy look. And you can even overlap a little. And I'm going to do that because I don't want to cover up all my sky. So there we go. Simple as that. Let's see if that's dry. Now it's still wet. If you do it when it's wet, then what happens is the ink sort of bleeds a little bit. So if you want more of a actual clear image rather than a blended or blurry image, you want to wait till it dries. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I guess, let's see, I'll bring in one of the ones that I have finished. So there's one of the ones I finished. Now this one is actually done on the Whisper White cardstock, and you can see it's kind of all misshapen. When you attach it to the card, as in here, you just want to put a lot of adhesive on the back if you use Whisper White so that it really lays flat. So I have gone off camera and used my heat tool to dry this piece of shimmery white and done the stamping over that for the water so that you could actually see the finished effect with the shimmery white one. And we just have a few more steps to go on this. We're going to take the little bird image with the Memento Black again. Ink that up. This stamp set is so easy to work with and forgiving, I find. And I'm just gonna stamp my little birds in the sky. I love them. Aren't they pretty? Makes me feel like I'm at the beach. All right, and now for one of my last steps, I'm gonna take the piece that I already cut out, the Adirondack chair, I'm gonna turn it over, and I'm actually going to, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use a little technique that I think is really cool for this type of thing in particular that has a lot of detail. So I'm going to take an old container, put a little bit of glue in it, and I'm using the Tombow Multi-Purpose Liquid Glue. And normally what I've done with this is I've used a sponge with a clip attached to the back, and I've done that, and it sort of ended up dilapidating the sponge. So I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to actually use a recycled sponge dauber, see how that works. Now when I do it, I'm putting on a piece of scratch paper so I don't end up getting glue on my work surface, and so that I can take that scratch paper away and still have a clean surface underneath. So I'm just going to hold it down so that it doesn't move, because if it moves, the glue will get on the paper and then will get on the front of my little Adirondack chair. We're actually going to use this method for one of the other projects as well. So look at it, that nice smooth coverage on there. And this will make sure that the whole Adirondack chair stays down. Oh, it wants to keep my finger too. Okay, let's get a little more up there. So I guess using my fingernail is probably better than using my fingertip to hold it down. All right, so there we go. Lots of nice thin layer of glue on the back. And I'm just going to place it down. Probably won't come up after I put it down, so good to have it in the right place. I'm just going to fold that over so the glue's inside and use it to press it down. And isn't that lovely? Oh, it's just really right there on the paper. Nothing's sticking up. All right, so now I have dimensionals on the back side of the Bermuda Bay. Just going to attach that to the front, attach this to that, and we are all done. Here are all three projects for the July and August free card kits, the finished projects. I hope you like them all. They were really fun to create, and my groups really liked them. And just as a reminder, you have until August 31st at 9 p.m. to place your order to get these kits. And another quick little reminder, when you do set up your online account through Stampin' Up!, you have to make sure to make the selection that allows me to contact you. Otherwise, you show up as anonymous, so I never have a name or an address. So just make sure I can contact you. Otherwise, there's no way for me to mail the kits to you. So I hope you've enjoyed the videos, and thanks so much for spending some time with me today. Have a great day. Happy crafting. Bye.